He tore his Achilles. Most players would have collapsed. Kobe Bryant walked to the free throw line. The body had broken, but the system was still running. He made the first shot, then the second. Only after that did he leave the game. That moment is usually remembered as toughness, but toughness is too small a word for what was happening. Because Kobe was not improvising courage. He was executing an operating system he had spent years building. What kind of system keeps running after the body breaks? Most people think Kobe's opponent was the defender in front of him. It was not. His real opponent was the part of the human mind that waits to feel ready. The part that waits for confidence, waits for motivation, waits for pain to stop, waits for pressure to become comfortable. Call it the negotiating self. The version of us that bargains with the moment before acting. Kobe built Mamba Mentality to defeat that version of himself before the game even began, before the championships, before the 81 points, before the farewell game. Kobe Bryant was a teenager trying to force his way into a league of grown men. He was talented, but talent was not enough. He was young, he was impatient, and he had entered a world where everyone had already been special somewhere else. Then came a public failure that could have made him smaller. In the 1997 playoffs against Utah, the rookie took the shots and missed them. The kind people remember. The kind that follow you into the locker room. But Kobe did not treat that failure as proof he was not ready. He treated it as evidence of what still needed to be built. That is where the second self system begins, and this is where the myth gets misunderstood. Most people hear Mamba Mentality and think it means working harder than everyone else. But working harder is not a system. Obsession is not a system. Pain tolerance is not a system. Mamba Mentality was not motivation. Motivation was exactly what Kobe refused to depend on. Because motivation negotiates. Confidence negotiates. Pain negotiates. Fear negotiates. Kobe built something colder than that. A system that had already decided. The first part of Kobe Bryant's operating system was not a routine. It was an identity. The ordinary self wanted reasons. The performance self had instructions. Most people try to become disciplined by changing their habits. Kobe went deeper. He changed the identity that had to perform. The Black Mamba was not just a nickname. It was a boundary between the ordinary self and the performance self. Kobe Bryant could feel pressure, doubt, pain, or anger. But the Mamba had a job to do. This is why the common lesson from Kobe is too shallow. People say, be obsessed. But obsession is not a strategy. Obsession without structure becomes chaos. Kobe's obsession had a target. It was aimed at a future version of himself. That version was not negotiated with every morning. It was obeyed. Discipline does not begin with behavior. It begins with identity. Before you build a habit, build the identity that habit belongs to. Ask, who would already do this without needing motivation? Then act as that person for 1 hour. Not forever. 1 hour, but identity alone is not enough. Because a second self is useless if it has never rehearsed the moment it is supposed to survive. That was the second part of Kobe's system. He did not treat practice as preparation for the game. He treated practice as the place where the game had already been decided. Most people think pressure reveals who they are. Kobe believed pressure reveals what they failed to prepare. That is why his process was so detailed. He did not prepare generally. He prepared specifically. A dark gym, a film room, a notebook, a defender's left foot, a shoulder angle, a shot repeated until the decision disappeared. This was how he attacked the next part of the negotiating self, the part that believes pressure will somehow make us better. Pressure does not expose your character first. It exposes your preparation. This is the difference between hard work and deliberate work. Hard work says, I worked for 10 hours. Deliberate work asks, which weakness did those 10 hours remove? The tool is the pressure rehearsal. Before a difficult meeting, presentation, negotiation, or decision, do not just prepare your content. Prepare the moment that could break you. What question could throw you off? What criticism could trigger you? What delay could make you impatient? What mistake could make you defensive? Then rehearse your response before it happens. That is not overthinking. That is building a nervous system that does not panic when the moment arrives. And then came the moment that tested everything. April 2013. Kobe was 34. The Lakers were fighting for a playoff place. His body had carried 2 decades of load. Then, on one drive, the Achilles snapped. The injury was severe enough to change the rest of his career. But before he left, he stood at the line. The arena knew something was wrong. His teammates knew. The crowd knew. Kobe knew. But the ball was still in his hands, and the line was still 15 feet away. This is where the ordinary self usually takes over. Pain gives it permission. Injury gives it evidence. The body gives it an excuse no one would question. But Kobe had already decided what ready people do. He made the free throws. Those 2 free throws were not a miracle of willpower. They were muscle memory with consequences. The negotiating self searches for confidence when the moment arrives. Kobe's system built proof before the moment arrived. The confidence was the receipt. Confidence is not something you search for on the day of pressure. It is something you deposit before the pressure arrives. The tool is the evidence bank. Every day, record one piece of evidence that you kept a promise to yourself. Not a huge victory. One kept promise. A completed workout. A hard conversation. A focused hour. A clean decision. A recovered mistake. Over time, confidence stops being a mood. It becomes a file of evidence. When pressure comes, you are not asking yourself to believe blindly. You are reading the record. But there is one more thing. The easy version of Kobe's story says obsession made him great. The deeper version is more complicated. Kobe's system produced extraordinary results. 5 championships, 18 all-star selections, an MVP, 2 Olympic gold medals, an 81-point game. But the system also demanded a price. Obsession can sharpen you. It can also narrow you. Intensity can create excellence. It can also create isolation. The danger is not that you work too hard. The danger is that you start calling every sacrifice discipline. Some sacrifices build the person you are becoming. Others quietly remove the life you are trying to build. And this is why copying Kobe blindly is dangerous. The lesson is not to live exactly as Kobe lived. The lesson is to understand what part of his system transfers. The hours were his. The pain was his. The myth was his. The operating system is what transfers. Mamba mentality was not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Kobe built a system that could survive without it. The second self system, defeats the part of you that negotiates with discomfort. The pressure rehearsal defeats the belief that pressure will save you. The evidence bank defeats the habit of searching for confidence too late. Identity, rehearsal, evidence. Tomorrow morning, choose one important arena in your life. Not 10. 1. Your work, your health, your leadership, your craft. Write one sentence. The person who wins here is the kind of person who... Then finish it. Then do one action for 1 hour that proves the sentence true. That is how the system starts. Not with motivation, with proof. Kobe did not build Mamba mentality so life would become easier. He built it because pressure does not wait for you to feel ready. Pain does not wait. Doubt does not wait. The moment does not wait. So he built a self that had already decided. The body can break. The feeling can disappear. The crowd can turn. But if the system is real, it keeps running. If this way of studying elite performers is useful, every month, one legend becomes 3 tools you can actually use. Not the highlight reel. The operating system. The next video finds that pattern somewhere completely different. A different kind of pressure. A different kind of legend. That one is waiting for you. That is one legend, decoded. The next one is waiting.